female is up to 1/3 of the size larger. So he has about a 6-foot wingspan. The females will get up to an 8-foot wingspan. And while he only weighs about 6 pounds, the females can get up to 13. Now these are big birds, and when you're a big bird in Africa, that means you get to eat the big. Because of these tweezer-like beaks, they are able to pick up what you're supposed to land on the glove, not just hold it with your beak. Well, now I got 2 on the glove.
2 for 1.
Now, these tweezer-like beaks are going to allow these birds to eat the small little bits of meat and muscle and things like that that are left on the bone after all the bigger birds, and maybe even a large predator, have taken everything off. You'll notice one of their adaptations is they feature a mostly bald head. The fact that they're not completely bald is why they are called hooded vultures. That's for you. That's for you. It's why they're called hooded vultures, but most vultures have bald heads. This is useful in a couple of different ways. For starters, this beautiful bald head, and we like to say bald is beautiful here at the aviary, this beautiful bald head is going to allow them to thermoregulate a little bit better. When they get hot in the sun in Africa, this bald head will allow them to flush. You can see how they all got pink heads because they're very excited right now. Flush their head with blood like you or I will flush our cheeks in order to help themselves cool off. The other nice thing about having a bald head when you're somebody who has to stick your head inside the carcasses of other dead animals is, well, the blood and guts that get stuck do not get stuck in your feathers, causing them to fall out. Instead, these birds are able to just wait for it to bake off in the sun or wipe it off on a rock, which makes it a lot easier to keep themselves nice and clean. Let's go home. Now, vultures are one of our favorite birds here at the aviary. I like them because they're pretty disgusting, but also they serve a very important purpose. They're scavengers. They help keep our planet clean from dead, decaying and foul. All right, so she is over the elevator. Well, the stairs, pardon me.
Только не вставай.
Round that
Очень быстро
tree,
летает, смотри.
coming up over the wall.
Это африканский сокол.
Wetlands, and she might be landing, it looks like. If she didn't make it around, she landed. There she is. All right. So one of the places where you will not find peregrine falcons is in the Middle East and Northern Africa, where this species is from. What you just saw there is a flight demonstration. We call this lure flying. It's actually one of the ways that a falconer will train their bird to hunt. So when a falcon goes out and hunts, falcons specialize in eating other birds. Their prey has to be able to fly. So one of the 2 strategies they'll use, one is they'll fly high into the sky, and they'll do what's called a stoop. Tuck their wings behind them, dive down, and actually hit the bird and knock it to the ground. The other thing they'll do is what you just saw there, where they make passes at it. Basically, when they make a pass around a bird, that bird goes into full-on sprint mode because its life is on the line. It goes as fast as it can, usually straight up in the air. And what the falcon will do is loop around with their agility and speed and come in for another pass, making that bird do that. If you're somebody who's ever had to run wind sprints for any reason in your life, you know there's only so many sprints you can do before you slow way, way down. Once that happens, that's when the bird comes in and makes its kill. Now the adaptations that are going to allow them to do this are those nice long wings which kind of come to a point, and that nice long tail. This stooping behavior I'm talking about, they tuck their wings behind them and they go into a straight line dive. The peregrine falcon, which we actually have right here in Pittsburgh in about 5 different locations, is the fastest moving animal on our planet when they're in that stoop. They hit speeds well over 200 miles an hour. The lantern falcon here can get up to speeds over 100 miles an hour. This particular one, she's still a little new at this. Her name is Cleopatra, Cleo for short. She hits speeds right now because she's still learning right around 45, 50 miles an hour. So she will get faster. Our other falcon hits speeds over 70 or 80 up here on Skydeck. Now what Jenny's going to do here, she's going to step that bird up as soon as she is willing to let go of that lure and onto the glove. And then what she's going to do is she's going to put on what we call raptor equipment. Basically what this is kind of like a leash for your dog at home if you were walking him near a busy road. And what it is it's for her protection when we're walking through the hallways of the aviary. If something were to spook her, and we don't know what it could be, but if something were, her first instinct is going to be fly first, figure out the direction you want to go later. So in an effort to not allow her to fly and crash into a window or a wall, we put this equipment on her. It it's basically a leash that attaches to her feet. We only put this kind of equipment on our true raptors, hawks, eagles, owls, and falcons. They're the only ones with the bones in their legs that have the legs strong enough to support this. for us to be able
Ее
to do
зовут
it.
Клеопатра. Да, девочка.
So it is incredibly safe for them. Now you saw how she was stuck there as Jenny lifted her up. These birds actually get what we call sticky footed. I get asked a lot, what keeps a bird from falling out of a tree in a windstorm or when they fall asleep or what have you? And what it is the way their foot works. When our hands relax, our hand is open. For them, when their foot's relaxed, it's closed, just like this, all right? So basically, they have to flex muscle and think to open their foot. So when they have a piece of lure or something that they think might be food, they hold on. They can squeeze that harder. But in order to let go, they have to physically open it. So if you happen to be the bird that she has a hold of, doesn't matter what you do, you are not getting away because she's going to be able to hold on to you. Now, as Jenny comes around, I'm going to point out some adaptations here. Take a look at her feet, her beak, what we would call nares or nostrils on the bird, and around her eyes. I'm going to talk all about them here in just a minute. So the first thing is her feet. She has really long toes, especially compared to the other raptors and short talons. This gives her a lot of extra surface area because her prey is typically going to be something that's flying. So she wants to be able to grab it. But the thing is, because her food's flying, she can't always grab it right out of the air. Her grip is actually kind of weak too compared to the other raptors. So what she'll do is she'll ball her foot into a fist and she'll punch it right out of the air. This leaves the bird stunned and on the ground. When she comes down there, that's where the beak comes in. She has that nice hook for ripping and tearing, but if you look right behind that, you're going to see a little ledge that we call a tomial tooth. A tomial tooth gives her the leverage she needs to actually kill with her beak. Where all of our other raptors kill strictly with their feet, a falcon has the ability to kill with its beak. So Jenny likes to say they are double armed. They have two weapons that they can kill their prey with. Also there on the beak, you're going to take a look at, again, the nostrils. We call those nares on a bird. There's a little bone in there, a little nasal protrusion called a nasal tubercle. And its main job is, as this bird is in its stupor diving out of the sky, the peregrines in particular, it breaks up the air and creates turbulence so they can actually breathe while they're in this dive. Think about it, going 200 miles an hour, that air is going by you so fast, you're probably not going to be able to take a deep breath. She can maintain her breathing while in this dive because of that little bone right there. Also around her eyes, you're going to see the little black markings that go under the eyes and around the eyes. In addition to making her look super fierce and like a real predator, it actually serves a purpose. We call those Serengeti sunglasses. They're called Mylar stripes. They work very much like an eye black on a football player, soccer player, you name it. Basically, it absorbs the light, so it doesn't reflect back into their eyes. Additionally, this cone right above her has a superorbital arch. Works like the brim of a baseball hat, or like my hand right now to help keep the sun out of their eyes. She is lazy, no. She is one of our females. We release her first because the females, as I said, in the raptor world, are much larger than the males are, so they're a lot less agile. And Apache hasn't quite figured it out like our other female radar has. Apache gets a piece of food, she flies all the way home back to our raptor yard, eat that piece of food before coming back up. Radar is a little bit more competitive with the boys because she grabs her piece, lands right there, enjoys it, and then comes back across and is able to catch more. The males are quick and agile. You'll see them here in a moment flying around. And there are two of us up, not just because we're flying for these birds, but because, again, in Africa, they're known to swoop down and steal food right out of people's hands while they're not paying attention. I've actually had one try to steal it right out of the bait bag I'm wearing on my hip here. So Jenny and I you are off today. Jenny and I are out here today, basically to look out for each other, make sure that we're able to get the food that, there we go, that the other bird, or that the birds miss, so that they don't just take the easy way out, you guys can see. So our males are the smaller ones. Here comes one right here. You can watch him, he will pass that up to his beak with his foot, and then eat it while on the wing. What allows these birds to be so agile, take a look at them, you will notice a short, stubby body with long, elegant wings. And of course they got that nice long tail which helps them steer. One of my favorite things about these birds is as they're flying in like this, they look like they're going possibly as fast as they can, but as soon as that chicken leg goes up in the air, their speed almost doubles and allows them to close in very quickly like that right there. Now again, this is one of the most numerous birds on the planet, and they have learned to adapt to living close to people. And that kind of brings me to a pretty interesting story. Oh God, terrible, but you caught it anyway. About one of our females, Radar. So when we were first working on this up here, the birds have to practice. Jenny and I obviously have to practice. This is believe it or not, a lot harder than it looks to time it to get it up there for the birds to catch. Anyway, we were out there training the birds, and Radar disappeared over this wall and didn't come back up. And we're like, well, where'd she go? Luckily, all these birds are fixed with radio telemetry, so what we're able to do when they go sit in a tree or they decide to go take a rest, we go with the radio telemetry, and it beeps and play a big game of hot or cold. We figure out what tree they're in, and we stand under it with with a big cup of food. And once they see us, they usually come right down, and they get as much food as they want, and we go home. Well, when Radar went on this little journey, we did not have to travel far. We came out, and she was right underneath the stage right here. When we come around the corner, we saw a bucket of original recipe Kentucky Fried Chicken with a bunch of kite feathers sticking out of the back end. Now, I think it makes a funny story to say, you know, pretend like somebody was eating their lunch and the bird just dove down and stole it. That's not what happened. Somebody.
Was that kite secure?
Yeah, she wanted to see her mouth.
Такая черная.
Yeah, go ahead.
Знаешь, какие умные животные? Это американская ворона. И она собирает пожертвования. Это ее инициатива была. Да.
Yeah, we use a bridge. We just use a verbal bridge. They're smart enough to understand that. We train them to put a metal washer into a metal bowl.
Вы видели деньги без того, нет?
To make the sound, we move the bowl around. But they honestly don't even need that really. Like they could get this by just training them to do this. She just trained them to pick up the dollar first, and then to put it in a specific location. So whether that be a bowl, and then that translates to this, and you want to put it around.
To treat
Personalization.
Yeah, they're both.
I will give her something.
That's okay.
I know. I'm sorry, buddy.
Ворона собирает деньги, пожертвования.
Is it a girl?
Yep.
What's her name?
Minnie.
Minnie.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
So she's a lot smaller than the crows we have here in Pennsylvania. She's actually from California.
So she's a California like version.
Yeah,
They're small there.
They're teddy because it's a little warmer. Areas. So yeah.
Yeah, she does look smaller.
Yeah. We have another one. Her name is Onyx, and she's almost twice her size.
I mean, crows around here are almost like raven size. As you can't tell, like, whoa,
Yeah.
is that a raven or not? Have to listen to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We get some ravens migrating every once in a while, but that's about it.
And it's just like everything else, we all run outside to look.
They go, go.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Huh. Just a little
Sorry,
bit deeper than
Minnie.
you. But
That's a good girl.
she's a good girl.
She's very good at her job.
In Europe, crows are black and gray.
Oh yeah.
The European crows, yeah. I came to America and I'm like, oh, you're black. It's so strange. Our black ones would be like ropes and other ones that are similar, but not a crow. But here, crows are black, completely black.
Yeah, it's interesting to go to different places and see like the different birds. Like we have both an American